Okay, so we have an additional extra for you today. Sorry, I just need to do a little bit of setup here, but in 2017, our next speaker, Enda spoke here on his Vendée Globe single-handed round the world voyage. So Enda is the only Irish person to have completed this, and one of very few, I think, internationally. And Enda has come this year. He has a new project. It's sort of Antarctic related, it's maritime related. It's a fascinating project, and we've got a nice piece of film by Enda's son, Cormac. So I'm going to hand over to Enda while I mess around with the screen here. Enda will tell you a little bit about it, and then we'll be ready to run the film. The adjudication process will be going on meanwhile, so hope you can stay for this. If you need to go, but please try and stay.
Thanks very much. It's really wonderful to be here, and what amazing presentations all day. Absolutely fantastic. There's this wonderful word in the English language called serendipity. I was crossing the international date line halfway between the South Antarctic and South Island, New Zealand, and I lost my mast. I got into trouble, I was in a mess. About a week later I made it up into a place called Otago Bay, Port Chalmers, and it was just that wonderful serendipity. 100 years ago to the week, it was where the Aurora left, and we were talking about the Aurora to go to the Antarctic. And it's just that amazing word, serendipity. But fast forward, that was a couple of years ago. I went back and I finished the trip to complete the solo circumnavigation. It was a tremendous adventure and a great privilege to do it. But that's what connected me in an amazing way with here. But I'm really not one to look back, but we've got to look back to look forward. And we put together a little project which is to create a youth development ship for the island of Ireland. And this little video tells the story of that ship, so I think the video says itself. It's through the eyes of my 16-year-old son Cormac, and this is Cormac here. Cormac made the video. I scared the living daylights out of him when he was 6 years of age. I was in a storm sailing a 60-foot boat through the Straits of Gibraltar, and he was sick and miserable and never wanted to go near a boat again. But earlier on this year I said, why don't you come and take a little film of this ship that a couple of us have bought as a youth training ship. So he took a video camera, and this tells the story through the eyes of Cormac of the Atlantic Youth Trust, linked with adventure and Shackleton. So hopefully it'll all work. So thanks very much.
So
Thank you.
Unsinkable Enda, okay?
I want you guys to enjoy the film that I made, and yeah, let's begin. Yeah. My name is Cormac, and I like dolphins and filmmaking. For me, filmmaking is about creating a new world that I can inhabit, a reality that is filtered, larger than life and without the boringness, of course. And dolphins. Who doesn't love dolphins? I never got to film a dolphin, or even see one up close. Once when I was 5 or 6, my dad, Enda, took me on a Volvo around the world race boat, a Green Dragon. Got caught up in the storm around the Straits of Gibraltar, and got seasick in the boat. I thought we were going to sink. I didn't see any dolphins. My dad is a cool guy though. He's mildly dyslexic. When he reads the word no, he sees it as on. I told him once that's why he can do the things he does. He didn't know what I was talking about, of course. He told me he can do the things he does because of a boat called the Asgard.
When I was in my teens in the west of Ireland, I went away on the original Asgard. It was just a short trip, but it actually changed my life in more ways than I realised. It got me out of trouble using the maritime.
The Asgard was really important to my dad. I think it changed him a lot. And I wouldn't have been invented without the Asgard. He was really sad when the Asgard was lost. Stuff like that means a lot to my dad. But like I said, When my dad reads the word now, he just sees the word on.
Ireland lost the Asgard 2, which was a tall ship. It was quite a tragedy, really. There was a sort of a gap, and a few of us came together and we said, look, we have to do something about this, particularly for the island of Ireland. We needed something to get young people involved with the ocean, not necessarily to teach them to sail, but to introduce them to the maritime adventure, which I was introduced to. What we did was, there was a group of friends and business people and people involved in the culture and the arts. We came together and we looked around the world, said, who did this best? We didn't just want to create a youth development ship for the island of Ireland, we wanted to be one of the best in the world. So we secured the money, we got the ship, we're modelled it after the original Asgard, but the Asgard name has a very proud tradition, but it was associated with gun running, not a thing we identify with in violence. So we felt we'd give her new name, and we've called her the Grace O'Malley. Grace was famous, legendary, romanticised as a pirate queen, and she was written out of history. She was the last of the Celtic leaders, as it were, and I think in the annals of Fort Masters, women or girls didn't do stuff like that. So we feel it's a very, very appropriate name to call the ship. It's long overdue, so now we're taking the ship on a tour of Ireland and further afield to build support, and we very much like your support. We're making it a people's ship. Everybody will have an opportunity to get shares in the ship and administered by the Atlantic Youth Trust.
This cutting-edge charity has one clear purpose: to transform young lives through challenge and adventure. We are now at a critical point in this venture, and we need to widen the net.
Because it was a second-hand ship, it needed to be modified with safety features to meet regulatory requirements. The team were behind schedule, but they got to work. They made a commitment to get to the Maritime Festival in Derry. My dad used to say,
there's nothing like a hanging to focus the mind.
Give you an idea of the scale. Again, it looks very, very different out of the water. Just to look up top, just the scale. Even me behind the camera here, it's a bit intimidating.
but there is one problem. It's over 1,000 nautical miles from the ship's berth in Ockerö, Sweden, to the Maritime Festival in Derry.
The steel along the waterline was very thin, so we're getting that job done and getting our ship shaped. We're going to Ireland, hopefully.
Hi, my name is Brian O'Malley and I'm from Clare Island, the actual burial place of our ancestor Grace O'Malley. I trained as a marine engineer and I'm the operations manager for the new vessel Grace O'Malley for the Atlantic Youth Trust. So I'm the overall operations manager for the ship, so the day-to-day running, moving the ship, everything that's involved with running a commercial ship, it stops with me, so I'm the guy that has to answer all the questions.
But my dad needed to add one more crew member to his team. I am the same age he was when he first went on the Asgard. He wanted me to return to the seas to document the voyage. I thought of the waves, I thought of being seasick. I thought about jumping into the unknown, but maybe I will get to film a dolphin this time.
Today's been a big day. We've managed to get our load line done on one side, and now we have to turn the ship around to do the load line on the other side, and also to clean and paint the other side. So this is we're almost getting close to going.
My name is Xavier Fiurana. I'm Spanish, and I'm the chief mate here on board. Chief mate means I'm responsible for all the deck operations, meaning everything happening from above from the deck, all the works aloft and also on deck level.
It's Friday morning, 15th of July. We're just leaving Ockerö off Gothenburg coast on the west coast of Sweden, heading out across into the North Sea, and hopefully all going well. We'll have a very successful maiden voyage on board the Grace O'Malley. It's a beautiful morning here, as you can see. The sun coming up, absolutely gorgeous, and everything is shipshape. We have a brilliant crew and the whole voyage is shaping up very, very well.
We're leaving Sweden after all our preparation and we're ready to get to Ireland with the grace of Mali.
Let's go home. Sorry, folks.
And the Ram Fair is held in Ireland every September. So all the local farmers, they bring their pride and joy down to the local GA fields and they show them off in front of other rams, and there's prize giving in different breed categories, and it's a bit of crack, and we usually end up going for a pint afterwards. And can't wait to get back to Ireland. It's been a good experience in itself here, so looking forward to having a pint of physics now, to be honest.
It can't be better. We just left Sweden an hour ago, and I must say it's a very special feeling after 30 years to be able to take part of this fantastic venture. So I will really look forward to coming over to Ireland, and it's always a departure makes a very special feeling. So I really hope this will go well.
Oh, I tell you, it's been an emotional roller coaster getting the Lady Enda and future Grace of Mali out of Sweden. Just taken a few years off my life, I'd say, but it's all good. Yeah, it's great to be on the way. Great to be on the way. It'll be challenging. Bit of weather at the beginning, but it's supposed to be nicer for the rest of it. Looking forward to landing in Derry.
What a glorious day. We've just left Gothenburg. Headed back to Ireland. Everything's gone smoothly. We're looking forward to a great trip. I'm a volunteer here, volunteer carpenter. Means I'm part of the team that's making all of this work. I'm doing a bit of the woodwork and a bit of engineering and a bit of everything. Having a great time. I love her. She's a great ship. She's great potential. She's going to be a great sail training ship for Ireland.
Pretty delighted and ecstatic. Going back to Ireland now. It's going to be great. Yeah.
Any further comment, Lars?
Yes, couldn't be better.
Once the Grace of Mali departed Okaro, we initially encountered choppy waters with winds up to 40 knots on the west coast of Sweden.
She's handling it well. She's an amazing sailor.
Nice, interesting, and but the wind direction could have been the other way, but other than that, great.
But Brian assured me once we got through it, we would have smooth sailing. How do you spend your time at sea? What do people do? Well, they come together as a team.
The cups and pawns, the toilet rolls are the bishops, the teapot is the king, the juice is the queen.
You learn ways to keep your spirits up with those around you. You laugh, you sing, and you get to learn what they're capable of. There's always work to be done on the ship, and it's always stuff you never thought you'd be able to do. I never swam in the ocean before. I swam in a pool and on a beach, but I've never jumped feet first into the unknown, and it was amazing. I think every day you should do something that scares you.
And I just announced for the people for the Kilkee bus, it's ready now outside, so you'll have to go now. Kilkee bus contingent.
After a few days on the ocean, we encountered a heavy swell in the Irish Sea. Because of the weather, we got permission to anchor in Foyle Port before arriving in Derry. A pilot boat came out to meet us and bring us under the bridge.
And that up there is the very famous Foyle Bridge. It's just iconic. It signifies Derry, and John Hume managed to get that. And they were building a similar bridge in Scotland, and he identified that it could be copied, and that's what happened.
Because of the height of the Grace O'Malley and the high tide by the swell, getting the ship under the bridge wasn't going to be easy. We had to be absolutely precise in what time we went under the bridge to make sure the swell was at its lowest. There's no margin for error. Before this voyage, something like that might have scared me. But seeing Captain Jerry in action, his knowledge, his dedication, gave me faith in our team.
Hey!
We did it. We actually did it. No way. Getting into Foyle was amazing. Loads of people said this voyage couldn't be done. Maybe my dad's relationship with the word no was rubbing off on me. Everyday life can be pretty easy, and there's not much chance to test yourself. But committing to something, no matter how crazy and seeing it through, felt amazing. Jumping into the unknown, feet first, it made me think, when was the last time you did something for the first time? At night we had a fireworks display and every ship in the docks put its lights on. I sat on the deck and just took it in. I never really noticed the night sky before. It was just black. But now with green, orange and magenta exploding around me, and the warm lights illuminating our group of seafarers, I realized how blue and silky it is. I've been scuba diving before, and I've always been amazed at all the colors under the ocean. How light reflects and splits into a million colors like through a prism. But I realized it's just like that above the water too. You just need to open your eyes. Still though, I didn't get any good footage of dolphins. It was nice to celebrate getting into Derry, but we still have work to do. The next stop on our voyage is the capital of Northern Ireland, the city of Belfast. And I wasn't the only one interested in filming the Grace O'Malley.
Welcome on board the Grace O'Malley, named after the famous 16th century pirate queen of Ireland. She's been bought by the Atlantic Youth Trust and will give young people the experience of sailing, fun and friendship, as I've been finding out.
She has sailed the Atlantic, survived storms and cyclones. Now this graceful ship prepares for a new adventure. The Grace O'Malley will bring up to 1,000 young people from across Ireland each year on the voyage of a lifetime. Hard at work are the crew who've sailed from Sweden, and taking care of her is a descendant of Grace O'Malley.
Sailing on a ship like this is really amazing. The silence, and all you can hear is the water run back by the hull of the boat. It's something that's hard to describe until you kind of experience, and that's what we're kind of hoping to do here, is to get people on board to experience that kind of sailing and learning and life values that come with sailing on a vessel like this.
Very exciting because this is traditional sailing, and not being able to use electronic charts brings back to how sailors used to traditionally navigate the seas. And luckily the officers know a lot of the traditional sailing, and they could pass their knowledge onto me and the rest of the trainees on board.
The trips are for all communities and abilities, with adaptations being made for disabled access.
The intention is that we take a group of 40 people to sea every 10 days and we change their lives. It'll all be the captain, the navigator, and sadly also the toilet cleaner. And on the 9th day, we build a democracy. They vote for the last day of their cruise who's going to be the captain and who's going to wash the dishes. And they operate the ship alone, untouched by the professional crew on the last day.
With so much to learn, this is set to be the trip of a lifetime. There will be many young budding sailors hoping to come on board in the future.
One more time to know it now. Oh, Rosheda Walya, oh, Rosheda Walya, oh, Rosheda Walya, and Misher Hopton Tari. Now at the end, we're in summer.
We're going to tell you a little bit about the ship, and then we're going to tell you a little bit about the Atlantic Youth Trust and the history and the background. Rebecca's grandfather built this ship. Her grandfather sailed on a ship of identical lines. She was a wooden ship, and it was always his dream, and he was successful in business and as a shipbuilder. So he decided to replicate, it was a ship called the Lady Ellen in submarine steel, and he wanted to have the best of everything. If you go down below decks, the specifications, it's absolutely amazing. In our quest with the Atlantic Youth Trust, we were originally going to build a ship, but then we said, well, let's get started. We did a spreadsheet of every available ship in the world, and here we are. What we're trying to do is take the amazing history and create a future and repurpose the ship for youth development. Atlantic is a voluntary-based organisation. It has a large core of people with a core of professionals. So we have a lovely cross-section of people here. We need to raise a very significant budget to refit the ship, to repurpose her for youth development. There's a lot of work on the rig and marine safety, regulation, safety aspect. And so far, it was tough going, but when you brought the ship, it's a magnet. It's really attracting absolutely some wonderful people.
The next phase was to travel 120 nautical miles to Dublin, straight up through the River Liffey. Dublin City has been around for over 1,000 years, from Viking settlements to British occupation, to boom and bust of Celtic tiger, and it's always changing and evolving. Cathedrals, statues, high-rise offices of glass and steel, but the water running through it is timeless. I think the people in stopped traffic on East Link Bridge watching a tall ship sail in like it would have 100 years ago thought about that. Everyone came to see us. We brought Cub Scouts on board who just couldn't resist doing that goddamn Titanic. And we've changed its flag from Swedish to Irish. We have brought the Grace O'Malley home. Finally. I understand what the Asgard meant to my dad now, and why it meant so much, why he talked about it as a vessel and voyage that changed his life. The Asgard was his experience. Mine was the Grace O'Malley, people's ship. The final stop of our all-island voyage was the real capital of the Republic, Cormac City. As we were arriving in Cork, we were welcomed by a water salute provided by the pilot ships. As I climbed off the deck and Captain Jerry grabbed me, he asked me what makes a good crew. I thought of my dad, and I thought of Captain Jerry, and I said, good leadership. He smiled at me and said, not leadership, teamwork. He handed me a USB stick. I filmed this a few days ago, he said. Are you a young man who likes dolphins? This is my first big project that I've ever done by myself, with the help of some pros, of course. All the footage you saw was, most of it was mine. I had some phone footage as well from the crew and my dad. And speaking of my dad, I'd like to thank him for making this project real, for getting me a camera and helping me out with everything. I'd like to thank the studio that I edited it in, and the crew as well, because it was amazing. They did a great job and they know what they were doing. And with that, I'd like to end this mini documentary with you and say thank you. So goodbye and have a great day.
Cormac, would you like to come over, please? Locations you can be in Ireland when we're almost at sea, okay? So, thank you. So, over to our ice captain, where is he? Yeah, thanks a lot.
Very final announcement of the evening, just to say that the jury have adjudicated and unsurprisingly they've awarded the inaugural Bob Burton Icebreaker 2022 award to Rob Stevenson. Who unfortunately is on the bus to Kilkenny. So taking it on his behalf. I'm not a Native American, so I'm here on behalf of Rob Stevenson. I'm sure he'd want to say how passionate he is about this award. It means so much to him. I'm sure there'll be tears of joy in Kilkenny tonight. Thanks very much. Hurrah!
Thanks very much. I hope you had a really good day. It was a great crowd. Thanks very much for your participation and so on. We have dinner tonight for those who have booked in Birdtown at 8 o'clock, and we pick up again